it's Rose. Welcome back to Journals in Time, and welcome if you're new. So today's video is going to be very, very short. We have a very sick kitty on our hands at the moment, so we are kind of concerned with keeping up with her and doing all the things she needs from us. So I'm getting very little time in my craft room. So I thought I would just come along and show you guys what I have done so far in the Fall Friends signature. I'm still working on the first one. I have some bits done in another signature, but I've been mostly working on this one. And maybe talk through my process a little bit for you guys. Okay, so first of all, putting the signature together. What I try to do is have a good amount of kit pages in the signature and then a variety of other pages. So you'll see, I'll go through the pages first and then we'll talk about what I've done with them. So we have the first kit page here, and then I have a couple of, I have a short page and I have a very kind of flimsy see-through page. So just different textures and different types of paper in there. Then we have this beautiful, this is a sheet from an old copybook, very vintage. I would say probably 50s or 60s, possibly 70s, not 100% sure, but the paper is almost like, it doesn't feel like it, but it looks, when you look at it, it looks almost like a fabric. So very beautiful, beautifully aged and coloured. This is the actual colour of it. I haven't tea dyed this or anything. There's some ink marks on there, but the yellowing is the actual page. And I've had a little fold over on that, and this paper is just some wrapping paper, and I thought that beautiful rose gold colour worked really well with the kit. Then we have another kit page, so that's 2 kit pages so far in this signature, and we're still having lots of different textures and things like that. Here we have a doily, then we have an Edith Holden page and a vintage ledger page. I finally started using my vintage ledger, yay! Another kit page, and this one is on a textured paper, so that's more texture again. And then we have an envelope for the inside of the signature. So there are 10 sheets in this, including the envelope. 4 of them are kit pages. Is it 4? Is 3 or 4? 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 3 of them are kit pages, and 7 of them are different types of papers, just for variety and texture and things like that. Okay, so that's how I think about the signatures. What I'm looking for when I'm putting a signature together is to use the kit pages to get the flavour of the kit throughout the whole journal. It needs to be a balance between kit pages and different types of papers and things like that. And you'll notice actually in this one there is no plain coffee dyed paper, not in this signature. I think there's one in one of the other signatures. Let me see here what we have. Yeah, so we have different types of papers in this one again. This is some more copy paper it's been written on. I will figure out something with that. I have a sheet of brown paper, some book page, some music paper, and this is one of my wax resist papers. It didn't come out the pattern didn't really come out very well on this, but it had some nice tones going through it that worked well with the kit, so I used that. Another kit page, a doily. This is another book page, and this is actually a smooth book page, but I really liked the image and the little poem in there, so that's that. And let's see about the next signature, just what we have in here. You'll recognize this. I did this in one of my videos. If you haven't seen that yet, I will pop it up in the corner of the video for you. Some more of that brown paper, another print that is from, not sure who that's from, but it's from somebody else. Coloured book page. This is the one with just the plain tea dye paper in. This is a print of a jelly print that I did. I was doing, before I started these journals, I did a jelly print session with the kind of colours that were in the kit. So this is actually a grey, but when I scanned it and printed it, it came out almost bluey green. But this kind of colour here works really, really well with the kit. This needs to be kind of chopped down a little bit more and probably tea-dyed. Some more of that ledger, and another kit page, and this is one of my wax resist pages as well, and I thought this colour was perfect for this journal. So yeah, those are the types of kind of pages that I use in my journals, and you can see that there are lots of different textures going through them. There's, you know, different kind of, just different types of paper to make it interesting. That's the word I'm looking for, to make it interesting. Okay, so let's have a look and see what I do with the pages. Now, when it came to this page, absolutely adored this page, but it needed a little something just to kind of set it off and again make it interesting. So I've just done a ruffle up here with some trim, put another little peak of red behind here because I wanted to bring in those colours from the crown on the owl. A little label just to add a little bit of interest, and down here you can't really see it on camera, but I do have a little bit of lace down here as well, just for a little added something. So when I'm looking at these pages, I'm looking to see, do they need anything else? Do I even want to put something else on there? Sometimes I just leave them be because they're so pretty, or there's just no nice way for me to get something on there to go with the rest of the journal, or you know, but sometimes it's glaring and it begs for something to be done, like this corner up here really wanted something done up there. Love this ruffle. Okay, so on the next page, this is one of the kit pockets, and I've just run a little bit of lace along the top of that. I didn't do anything else to it, I didn't think it needed anything else, and put that in there. So on the backs of the pages, I will often leave pages like this with the backgrounds. I will often leave them as writing pages. I don't always put pockets and things like that on them. I might put a ruffle or a piece of trim or even just a little collage at the corner, but sometimes I will leave them. On this one, I just wanted to get the pocket. This particular pocket I thought worked really well with this page. So then we have one of our short pages. Now this is 2 sheets of paper, and I've just hinged them together with another piece of paper, and I like how this looks here, and I wanted the holes to this side particularly. I will probably thread some embroidery floss through there or something. I will do something with that. So on this page I've just done a little bit of stamping. This is some gesso behind our sunflower here, a little bit of washi on the bottom of the flower just to ground it a little bit, and it is also a tuck spot. Okay, so everything about this page was done to kind of work with the paper that I'm using. So the holes, I know I want to put something down there. We also have the washi down here, so that will kind of complement each other. And I didn't necessarily want to bulk it up either because it's such a small page. I didn't want it to be kind of too heavy, but I wanted to put something on there. I didn't want to leave it just plain. So our little tuck spot worked out really well. Now I could have glued that down, and my initial thought was to just glue this down, but I thought, why not leave it as a tuck? So and that's another thing, I don't always leave things as tucks, but a lot of the time I can't resist. I just can't help myself. Okay, so I will possibly leave this one plain on the back as a writing spot. I'll probably ink the edges, and I may put a stamped image down here. I have some nice strip stamps that would work really well. So on this page, I can't really stick things to these pages. Something light, yes, I could do it. Putting like a napkin over the whole thing for me would take away the point of this particular page. So I did some soft stenciling. I used 2 different stencils, and I used some different coloured inks. I used my Distress Oxides and just stenciled through. So we still get the see-through nature of it. We still get that beautiful crinkly papery texture, but it still ties in with the kit, with the colours and things like that. Okay, love that. So this one, I had these little flaps on the edges of these pages. I could have cut them off, and I considered doing that, but I do like to take the opportunity when pages are too long like that and they need folding and things like that. I do like to take the opportunity to do something with them, just again to add more interest to the journal. So with this, I had this wrapping paper, loved the colour, didn't know what I was going to do with it, and I didn't want to cover the back of it because if you see the back, it's all embossed. So this is the debossed side, and I ran some ink over it and that pattern came through just so beautifully. So I didn't want to cover it all. I wanted that to be able to be seen as well somehow. So I glued it all the way to the edge here, and left this as a little pocket so we can put something in there. I'm going to leave this as a writing page. I may put a strip of paper down here from the kit, and on this side we have another tuck spot, and I've just used one of the tags from the kit to make that tuck spot. It's actually a pocket rather than a tuck spot, I suppose. So that is that, and I like to use the tags from kits in different ways as well. I don't always like to just stick them in a pocket. And again, it was getting kind of lost on the background, not lost, but it was just kind of blending a little too much for my liking, so I put this strip of music paper down here. And that also brings in the music paper that I've used in the other signatures, because I don't have a music paper sheet in this one. It does bring it kind of through and gives a little bit of cohesiveness as well. So that's one tip, is to try to use similar things throughout the journal, and that will, if you just use similar things throughout the journal in different ways, your journal is going to be cohesive. Okay? So that is that page. Then down here I have just a little stamped image of a mushroom, and leaving that as a writing page also. So this is one of the collage pages from the kit. This is Rachel's collage page. Absolutely love it. Did not want to cover it up, so I used a see-through belly band. Now, I made these quite a while ago and intended to do a video with them and never did. So if you want to see the process on that, just let me know in the comments below the video and I will get a video done up for that. So that, like I said, it is a belly band. Here we go, like so, and anything that goes in there can be seen through, and it's all embossed and all the rest of that. Very decorative and pretty. So that is that, and that's like another consideration is whether you want to cover things up or not cover things up, whether you want them to be seen, things like that. And I find quite a lot with these kits that I don't like covering up the paper. So I've come up with a few different ways to showcase them. Okay, so we have another ruffle down here. It's a different colour to the one that's up here, but it works really well with the kit as well. This doily went in here because I thought it picked up nicely on these darker tones. Now I know these this is faded back to be a background page, but you can still pick up these tones here. So I thought that worked really well. And they are also hydrangea flowers, which we have a hydrangea in the kit, so perfect. Worked really well. So that's that. I will probably not do anything with the doily. I have done things before where I've stuck little pockets or tuck spots or clusters onto doilies, but the paper is just so light I don't really like to do it. It just makes it weighty in a way that I don't like. Okay, so we have a needed holding page here with some beautiful chestnuts. This one had a lot of blank space around here, so I put one of my little corner tuck pockets on here. You would have seen that in my last video. I did a little cluster up here. Actually, this cluster was one that I had left over from last year's autumn makes, and I stitched one of our leaves from the kit. Thank you, Bella, for that idea. If you haven't seen Bella's video over at Bella's Crafty Studio, hop over and see that. I'll link it below the video. She was stitching on the fussy cut leaves in the kit, so I took that idea and I added it to this cluster for this page. So for this page I just wanted to add the colour, cover up some of that blank space, but I did like the writing here. We all know that the Edith Holden books have fabulous fonts and stuff like that, so yeah, I like to try and kind of use as much of those things as possible. And I put one of the little tabs here. I just felt it needed that extra element just to kind of make it visually pleasing. I felt it needed another element there. On this side, this piece of paper down here, I was trying a technique that didn't really work out for me, so I'm not even going to go into it. But I put some wax on a page from an encyclopedia, and when you put wax on paper like that, it goes see-through. But what I found interesting about this one was that I can now see the text on the other side of the page as well. It's backwards, but it just looks very interesting. And I just had that one piece torn like that. It was just, I just picked it up and used it, and I thought it looked kind of interesting, so I wanted to use that somewhere. So I used it on this page. This page was very yellow looking. There was nothing else there. It was just all very yellow. So it needed something to pull out the reddish tones in here. So I used this with the owl from the inside of one of the specimen cards in the kit. You will have seen me cut that out in one of my previous videos. And this is just a paint chip that I had punched out some flowers. And I just used the little leftover bit as a collage element. So that's really sweet. This hydrangea is in the kit. It is on Rachel's collage page, and Rachel made a video the other day. I will link the video below. She made a video the other day making ephemera from her collage pages. She made 6 pieces of ephemera from one collage page, and I have cut up my collage page to copy her, but I had this, I had half page of the collage page left as well from a different piece that I had made, and I thought it would be beautiful to cut out this hydrangea, so I popped it on there, and it gives some lovely decoration to my beautiful vintage ledger that I didn't want to cover up, but I needed to put something on there anyway. And I may still stamp something down here or do something else with this, maybe some stenciling, but for now we have that beautiful hydrangea up there. Okay, so the next page, again, I wanted to do something that made the page interesting, but at the same time left this free to be written on. And these pages needed cutting down, so I left a flap at the top, much like the one with the flap at the side. Again, I try to utilize these things when they come up rather than just cutting them off, even though sometimes that can look really good too. So I had this piece of cotton lace. Now, I dyed this with avocado some time ago, and look at the tones. It is just so perfect with this kit. So I have a few bits and pieces of avocado dyed stuff off to the side to use in here. It just worked so perfectly. So I thought I would take a full sheet of that and showcase that, and yet still be able to see our page beneath. Okay, and it needed something at the top to really kind of set the whole page off and make it more interesting. So I had these beautiful leaves. They're not silk, whatever kind of, they're just craft leaves. I have 3 different colours, they're all in the same packet. So I thought it would be nice to put a little banner of those up there. And they do peek out the top of the journal, which will look very interesting as well. Fabulous colours. And again, another one of those clusters that was left over from last year. And I just popped that on there as well to kind of bring the eye down a little bit. Okay. So this one, leaving this, probably not going to do anything, leave it as a writing spot. So that's one of those kit pages that I don't want to do anything with it. I think it's pretty good as it is, doesn't need anything. Okay, so this is another print of something that I have on my computer. I considered adding this to the kit, but it is very dark and it wouldn't be for everybody, so I kept it aside, but I knew it would work perfectly in this journal. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this side. I have something done with the other side, and I'll show you that in a second. But I will be doing something with it, and I just think that is stunning, and it adds a little bit of drama having that dark page in there. Love it. Very, very autumny to me, that. And this kind of lighter tone as well works really, really well with this avocado as well. Just fabulous. Okay, now I am going to be putting this envelope in the center. Not sure, I haven't fully decided what I want to do with it. I'm still considering leaving it full size and having it pop out the side of the journal, but I think it might be a bit too flimsy for that, so not 100% sure yet what I'm going to do with that, so that hasn't been dealt with yet. Okay, so in here I decided I would put a tuck spot, or a side pocket, or a side tuck, whatever you want to call it. So this is off of one of the pages in the kit, and it was a border down one side, and I just fussy cut it out and said I'd use it as a tuck spot, and it worked perfectly. Of course, it's obviously the perfect length because it is on the side of one of my pages, so it worked really, really great. So I'm very happy with that. May do something up here. I literally just put this down like half an hour ago, 20 minutes ago. So yeah, I may end up kind of framing it somehow. We'll see. But for now, that's what we have. Again, leaving that one plain. Now, this is the other side of my ledger page that had the flip up at the top. So I decided I would do a second one. So with this one, we have the fabric underneath this time, and it still flips up. We have some stenciling underneath, and it looks very pretty. So on the top we have one of the faux washi pieces that comes with the kit as well. One of Rachel's beautiful, beautiful tags. I put my little fox on there. The specimen card fox that I did in one of my recent videos. That is a pocket, and I use one of the elements from the kit here as well at the top. And again, looking for different ways to use the tags. So that essentially acts as, you know, a cover as well as almost like a tab to flip it up. And underneath we have another beautiful image. It's like a little surprise. You don't even know it's there until you flip and flip for writing. And you can obviously also write on the back of the tag as well. So that is that page. Love this little fox, and I love the way these dried flowers came out on the side as well. This page, I left the sewing come through from the flip. Okay, so I sewed this flip with this lace directly onto the page, and I let the sewing come through, and I used a fancy stitch. This reminds me of little bird's feet. I don't know why, but it reminds me of little bird's feet, and I think it's really sweet. So I've left that there. I need to ink the top of that. And this is just some gold paint that I had on my brayer from doing something that I will be showing you further on in the signature. So I just rolled it off on here. And I think that is great. It's a great way to use all your paint, and it's a great way to get some extra decoration on your pages. Okay, so this is the other side of that Edith Holden page. I have glued down the doily on this side. I just thought it was something a little bit different again, and I really like how it works there. Okay, this down here is a hidden paper clip. I've just taken a piece from the kit page, covered it, added a little fussy cut and a label on this side. These labels are freebies in my Ko-fi page. If you want to hop over there, it will be linked below the video. There are 2 sheets of labels in there. Some of them, one sheet has words and the other sheet is blank, so you can stamp whatever you want in there. And funnily, I was watching Rachel's video from yesterday, and she had come across these in my shop and she used them as well. So I thought it was very funny that we were both using those. So that's that, and I've a little die cut piece here that I just put on the edge here as well. That slips on there, and I will probably put a piece of ephemera in there. So that's that. And this piece now, okay, the absolutely wonderful Rhonda Zamora sent me some Happy Mail, and she had seen my video about paint chips, I'm assuming, and I had said that I could not get large paint chips here, so she sent me some larger paint chips. Look at these, and they are perfect colours for fall as well. Absolutely awesome. So Rhonda, thank you so very much. They are already being used. She sent me some little fussy cuts and things like that as well. Isn't that so sweet? They're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Rhonda. Thank you so much. I'm having a lot of fun with those already. Okay, so with this one I embossed it, put it into an embossing folder, put it through my machine, and then I rolled out some gold paint on the side and just brayered it on top here, so we got this effect. Now I'm not 100% sure that I'm in love with the effect of the paint, as in how it, how do I describe that? If you can see these little striations in the paint itself, I'm not 100% sure you can see that, but using a brayer is one of the best ways I have found to get the top of the embossed piece without getting down into the wells. Now when I was embossing this as well, I did put some black ink on one side of my embossing folder so that down here we got some little bits of shadowing as well, so it just gives a little bit of extra depth and texture to the piece. Okay, so under here I have a fussy cut from the kit. This is actually on one of the pages of the kit, and I just fussy cut it out. This is a tuck. Just pop something in there. There we go. And I just used a die cut border across the top as well. It was looking very, very flaggy. Is that a word? I don't know. It was looking very flaggy, flag-ish maybe, with just the actual thing on the page. I considered putting another one coming up to meet it and tying the two, but I just wanted to do something a little bit different. So I just inked this up. It's cut from cereal box, and I just put some inks on it and put that across there. So that's that one. Again, we have the other side of our collage page, Rachel's beautiful collage page. Didn't want to cover this up and hide too much of it either. This is a little belly band, and I will be making a little flippy notebook to go on that. So that's that one. The other side of our beautiful vintage copybook paper, and this is another piece of the avocado dyed fabrics that I have. I just popped some buttons through there and it had these little stars already embroidered, you can see, but they were embroidered in white. So I took some of my embroidery floss and I just echoed or copied what they had on the piece already in that colour. So that's very sweet. We'll have a piece of ephemera to go down in here and lots of writing space left. I may stamp up here or do something up here as well. Okay, so the other side of that page, this is a beautiful, beautiful leaf. I found this in one of my books that I had forgotten that I had, one of my little photo album books. I have a couple of them, so I have another one here to play with. Aren't they just beautiful? The colour just stayed so vibrant on them, and I've had them for at least a year, if not two. So I just wanted to do something with it. I considered laminating it and using it that way as a specimen, but I just wanted to do something a little different. And this is another one of those flips. Again, trying to utilize the pages as they go in. I've just taken a strip of one of the kit pages. This is one of the background pages. I've sewn all the ways around it. Added one of those clusters from last year. This is a leaf that I did this year. Cut it from a jelly print. I have a stamp and die set for these, so I stamped it, cut it out and popped it on top here, and that just flips out. It's not a tuck, it's not anything, just flips out and it looks interesting, I think. So I've put some faux vintage tape on this leaf, a little butter, and this is actually one of Rachel's labels, believe it or not. We're very in sync at the moment. And a Tracy Fox label down here. I'm not sure what kit that's from. I'm sorry, I can't tell you what kit that's from, guys. It's from one of Rachel's kits anyway, from Rachel Bella Crafts, okay? So that is that page. I love this page. I think it might be my favourite one so far. Yeah, loving it. Okay, so the other side of this light paper. Now, you'll remember me saying that I can't really glue things onto this. So I tried to find the lightest things that I had. This mulberry paper is very light. These were printed on paper, not cardstock. So I just wanted to get a little something something on there. And that is what I came up with. This is a die cut. Not sure if this is a Tim Holtz one or not. But love, love, love this die cut. It's absolutely beautiful. On the other side we have one of the images from the kits and a label. I have these labels. It's a beautiful colour for this journal. I have these labels in my stash for a long, long time. I have no idea where I got them. Don't even know if I still have the file on my computer, but I really need to look for it because they're beautiful. Okay, so that is that. The other side of this little short page, again, we'll possibly leave this for journaling, and on the other side I have put these two little die cut leaves. Now these are what I call my invisible pockets. You may recall me using paint chips to make them, or talking about them in my paint chip video. And what it is, it's just two little pieces that aren't fully glued down. You can slide a piece of ephemera in there and it stays in place. So yeah, love those. So those 2 leaves went in there, and I had some really good colours in the jelly prints for leaves and things like that. Okay, so again we have the last kit page. Didn't want to leave it completely blank, but didn't want to cover it up, and I wanted to get one of these envelopes into this signature as well. So this is one of Rachel's envelopes from the kit. I've added a butterfly, a die cut trim down here, and just some fabric. And on the other side I have added a little closure. There's nothing in there yet, but we'll be putting something in there, and a little number on the flap. And this here is a magnetic page tab. So you might remember me doing these in a video quite a while back. They're magnetic page tabs. They have a space inside that can be journaled on, so they're like a secret journaling spot as well. Now I had made some of these and just left them plain, so this was just literally the Hessian and the backing fabric, and I just added the buttons in the colours to go with the kit. So that pops on there. We still have lots of writing space underneath here with that beautiful background page, and we have a gorgeous envelope to decorate the page. So I love that. I really like this page as well. I like how this envelope works with all the rest of the spread. So yeah, really enjoying that. And on the last page we have our little mousey. Didn't want to do anything with the page, want to leave it for writing, but I will put, possibly put a piece of ephemera up here. And again we have the back of that magnetic page tab with just our little buttons picking up on the colours. So I used the dark kind of rich red here to pick up on the darker kind of colours down here. The greens picking up the green down here as well, and the orange picking up the oranges from up here. Okay, so that's what we have so far, guys. I'm sorry that I don't have a make for you as such today, but I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of the signature so far and how I think about putting them together and kind of how the pages dictate what goes into the journal, I guess. Yeah, so do leave me a comment below the video if you have any questions or anything like that. I'm always happy to answer questions, and always delighted to hear from you guys. Okay, so that is it for me for today, guys. I will talk to you all very soon in the next video. Bye bye.